Hey Jordan, it's good to have you on. And you've been working with me in the accelerator. I checked, I think it's for around 3 months today. Is that right? It's been around since March time.
Yeah, I'd say something like that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your trading journey before working with me and to get a good understanding of any ups and downs and challenges that you've faced and how you've overcome them in particular more recently since working with me in the accelerator. So, first of all, tell us about yourself, like where are you from, how old are you, and also what's your trading background? Where did you start?
Yeah, cool. Well, my name's Jordan. I'm 27. I'm from Sydney, Australia. Uh, my previous background before trading, I actually used to play video games professionally.
Wow,
I
that's
did
cool.
that since I was like 17, 18, all the way up to 23, 24. And I think once I didn't get re-signed to a new contract in that industry, I kind of started with no skills or no skill sets for the real world
Mhm.
to make an income. So then I looked into trading and I was kind of in and out of different courses and obviously trading like small amounts of money, small challenges and all that. And then I think that was in beginning of 2023.
Mhm.
And then I think I found you in the beginning of 2024 or maybe middle of 2024 with Evolution Markets.
Yeah.
And ever since I found Scott and his team, uh, I thought, okay, this is actually proper guidance instead of there's went through so many different courses and stuff and it's just been so bad. So yeah, I just knew it was the right thing for me. So pretty much went all in with Scott. And obviously, I had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs with the personal account and obviously challenges as well. But ever since I joined the accelerator program, I think that really took me to the next level, which what I was looking for. Because just before the accelerator, I was kind of just on the edge of becoming profitable or at least getting payouts, but there was just like some things that I was missing. And I think being in the program, I kind of opened my eyes into what I needed to get to the next level.
That's cool. I mean, excuse the pun, but it sounds like it accelerated your trading.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly what
legit.
it's intended to do. That's great. So, like, just briefly, what kind of strategies in the past did you try before kind of working with me?
So, in the past, we did like I used to do like a breakout strategy where we would take the highs and the lows of London, or yeah, highs and lows of London, and then if New York would close above the high of London, with a bullish close, then take a buy and hopefully it's a breakout to the upside from the range previous with disregarding the higher time frame at all. So
Okay, I was gonna
it,
say.
that and then also I remember they were telling us sometimes price reverses for whatever reason. So yeah, I think I've tried that in the past. And what else have I tried? I think what else have I tried? I think it was just that, uh, honestly.
And like
Um,
support and resistance, to just mainly just a break and retest, lower time frame,
yeah, there's been things like that as well, and candlesticks, the way they close,
so price
and
action based.
yeah. So there was no real like high time frame kind of bias understanding of what's actually happening. It was
Okay.
always just, yeah, just fluff on the lower time frames.
Yeah, like certain components, but not really the full picture.
Yeah,
And it
exactly.
sounds like really mastering what's going on in the higher time frames has probably been the biggest mover in your trading, I guess.
Oh, 100%. I think that's what gives all the confidence in like, because sometimes you might feel like, oh, this is not really going my way. It's still in my entry area, but as long as you're following the higher time frame, you should still be confident in what you're doing. So, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that's great. So, in one sentence, could you tell us what would you say is kind of like your fundamental basis of your strategy right now? Like if someone asked you on the street randomly, "Hey, Jordan, can you just tell me in 30 seconds how you trade?" How would you explain it in simple terms?
I would say trading with the trend, uh, but making sure that you are entering positions in very good areas that, um, yeah, basically, I'd say trading with the trend, but um, entering in certain positions that are more likely to go your way because of how early you've positioned um, that entry.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like trade finding a trending market and then trading in like high probability areas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's great. And it's really important to be able to simplify it because often I find those traders that I work with that will reach out to me and say, "Hey Scott, I'm having a bad time." It's because they've kind of like forgotten the basics and they
Yeah,
get too zoomed into the finer detail. The finer details are important, especially close to entry point. But like to be able to take a step back and go, hold on a minute, what's happening? Like goes back to the high time frame again. What's happening on the high time frame? All right, okay, I just need to wait for this.
100%. I agree.
And what assets do you trade? Are you trading just indices?
I do indices, the DAX, and sometimes gold. So them
Okay, cool.
three. I mix between US 30 and S&P 500.
Hmm.
Uh, Depends what's cleaner. And then yeah, mainly the DAX, and then sometimes gold. But then gold can be sometimes weary unless it's bullish. Then it's nice, but if it's not bullish, then it's hard, I think.
Yeah, gold's been difficult to trade in my opinion since around April this year, 2025. We had a really nice bull run and then Trump came in and then we've had war in the Middle East and gold it's pretty violent in the minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I'm in a gold long at the minute and it's very close to TP and that'd be another 100K funded next for me. I wonder if my MT5 sound effect will go off during the recording. That'd be quite fun.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
I'm only a few ticks away. Um, yeah, so you trade gold, you trade German DAX, you trade sometimes US indices, so US 30 or SP 500. Do you have like an account rotation system where you only trade one asset per account, or do you fluctuate on one account? How does that work?
So right now, with my funded account with FTMO, I kind of when that is done with a payout and it's on a fresh account, I would do a personal trade and a trade on that. So I would trade with both those accounts, and then once whether that's in profit or not, but if that account is in profit, I'd put that away, and then I kind of mix everything with the personal account. So if I
Yeah.
trade on one account challenge, I would also add that with the personal account.
Hmm.
But in terms of rotation, that's probably something I need to incorporate a little bit more because sometimes I do trade on two different challenges on the same trade ID, and it is obviously more risk. So yeah, it's something to think about. But yeah, that's sometimes I mix two challenges in a personal account, or I do one challenge, one personal account, just so I'm not managing too much at one time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
not
that's
spinning too
rough.
many plates. So
Yeah.
you'll have like two, let's say two challenges on at once, and but then you'll trade one asset, say the German DAX, and you'll put the same trade on both accounts.
Uh,
That way.
yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Sometimes I would only have the one like let's say the DAX on the one account, and then if there's a trade ID on the gold, then I would use that for the other account.
Yeah.
But sometimes I mix it too. It's not really structured,
Yeah.
but I think I do need to structure it potentially. We'll see.
I
Because
would
I
recommend this.
find
This helps me. I would definitely recommend that.
Yeah, because I find when I just trade my funded account and my personal, but I just focus on the one account, I have much more success with it
Hmm.
than like managing like two or three, and it's kind of just a bit. bit too much.
Yeah. I think progressively we get used to things. Like I was trading one account, one asset for a long time, years. And then when last year, 2024, and I decided to go back to trading prop firms, one to release equity from my capital to diversify that into other business ventures. But then also from an ROI point of view, prop firms still are really unbeatable. They're not easy. You got to abide by the rules. But from an ROI point of view, especially when you pass and you get your challenge refund, you can't really beat it versus trading
Yeah.
your own money. But yeah, I was trading like one asset, one challenge. Once I'd passed that, I'd then load up another challenge. So I'm trading a funded account and a challenge. Passing that, I'm now trading two funded accounts and a challenge. And it's at that point where there becomes more than one account. You're then able to trade more than one asset because I've always liked to separate them for limiting that risk exposure per account for sure. But
Yeah.
there's definitely something in like how many different assets can you have on your watch list? Well, it depends how clean they are, right? Sometimes I will only be looking at one. Like the last week, I only really looked at the Nasdaq. That was it. Whereas the week before, it was like, okay, I'm looking at Nasdaq, I'm looking at DAX. The week before that was just DAX. So it really depends. But also, yeah, it's been like not a challenge, but it's been something progressive for myself to be able to increase the number on my watch list, going from just looking at one to now trading two to three and three to four different accounts also. So it's definitely interesting. Yeah, something we could talk about after and nail something down with more.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's good. I think you're always evolving, so
Yeah,
as long as
always.
you're trying to figure out what's the best for you, then that's the most important.
Yeah, I love that. That always evolving, but only focus on evolving one thing at once.
Yeah.
So whether that's strategy, okay, something needs to maybe improve higher time frame, focus on that, don't change the entry. Maybe you've nailed the higher time frame, it's something to do with the entry. Let's focus on refining the entry. Maybe it's nothing to do with technicals, maybe it's psychology, let's work on the psychology part. And maybe it's nothing to do with any of that and it's just capital. Maybe I just want to increase my capital, let's just work on that. And it's a case of just understanding what you want to work on the most and then just doubling down on that one refinement. Next question then is, what's your favorite session to trade? You're in Australia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So time zone is different for you. Do you trade
Yeah,
London, New York,
it's
both?
I trade both,
Mhm.
and sometimes it gets hard because New York right now opens at 11:30. So 11:30 p.m.
PM. Okay.
So, and that's with the daylight savings adjusting. So it used to be midnight or 12:30, and then also used to be 1:30 in the morning. So,
Yeah.
and I do like trading New York the most, just because I feel like you kind of really get that position that you want during New York. Uh, London's good, but I see a lot of the time when you're in a position in London that New York ends up sweeping that, and then that's the position you want to be in, or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. But New York is always, for me at least, like a lot better. So I just stay up and yeah.
Are you like a night owl? Are you an early riser? What's normally for you?
I love waking up early. I've
Okay.
always liked waking up early. And obviously, with trading now, I have to stay up a little bit later. So, right now, I'm kind of staying up a little bit late and waking up late as well. So,
Yeah,
that's me
to
right
make sure you
now.
got that sleep in. Yeah. But I agree
Yeah.
with you. The New York session is where the volatility is, especially when you're trading gold and US indices. It makes sense. You see it on the chart where the volume is. But yeah, I mean, if I had to choose between the two, either getting up really early or staying up late, I'd rather stay up late. I suppose I'm different to you. I've never been an early riser.
Yeah, true.
More
Okay.
so now, I'm forced to. I've got four children, so they are my alarm clocks. But before children, I could stay in bed till 11 a.m. easy,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
easily.
true.
Um, back in the younger days. But yeah, New York's definitely where the volatility is, and it's interesting that you say that you could be in a position during London, and then New York comes back to liquidate that, and it's understanding again the higher time frame. Are there any key levels that price is going to react to post London, or whether you're in and out like 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 during that London session, knowing that, okay, that's my session. I know likely New York might liquidate, take me out of this position for a break even or a loss. So I'll take my profit if I don't want to stay up, or even if I do want to stay up during New York session. But everyone's
Yeah.
different. We've got people all over the world. We got people in the Netherlands, obviously UK, you've got US, Australia, um, absolutely all over the place. So time difference is different for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you want to cater towards what you like most and what you like in schedule wise as well, for sure.
Yeah, what's sustainable? Like what can you do every day, every week, every month for years versus can you do it 1 or 2 nights a week and then you're shattered? Like
Yeah,
because that's New
100%.
York opens at like 10, 11:30 p.m., but you could be trading for 90 minutes.
Yeah. There's even been positions at 2 a.m., 2:30
Mm,
a.m. that I've taken. And they've been really good positions, but sometimes that's just what it is, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it is what it is. Exactly. It's like yesterday on Nasdaq. We took that position. I took that position um, early New York, and then price came back. And I had in mind that this could happen, and if we get liquidated and it creates a new low, that I'd get involved. And I actually had a horizontal line with an alert set around 6 p.m. UK time because I'm thinking it's probably going to happen around then, and I don't want to enter any later than that. And it came back and it did it, but it did it at like 7:30 p.m. So it's like it's too late. I want to get involved, but it's just too late for me. Like spreads are going to be wild, and yeah,
yeah.
so it's just one of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go back to like the funding. So you trade personal, you trade funding capital as well. Do you
Mm.
have funded accounts or just challenges at the moment?
I have a 200K FTMO. I was max allocated. I've been max allocated twice,
Hmm.
um, but I lost one of them. So I still have the other funded account. And then right now I have a Funder Pro challenge that I'm working on as well.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I kind of have an issue with every time I'm max allocated with FTMO, because I want to scale the the amount of capital I have. Probably something we can talk about after. But I always kind of rush. So I'd be in a payout in one FTMO account, and I want to get payouts first and then work on the capital. But the second FTMO account, because I got the payout in the first one, I rush the second one because I want to scale capital because that's the goal.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just get poor risk management and kind of taken a bit of too aggressive of trades, et cetera, et cetera. So I found it's a lot easier to trade just the one funded account. Um, but yeah, I got to think about what I want to do there. But yeah, that's just something I'm working on at the moment.
So you're trying to scale it. So with FTMO, I think you've got to hit like a profit target every month for 3 months, and then you can scale that account up. Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that. I think that's the prime trader or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with having the 200K accounts, I just need to be a bit more patient in general. Um, yeah.
Yeah, like again, focusing on those higher time frames, even if it means taking maybe one position a week, but you've got capital. It's not like it's a 20K account, it's a 200K. So you could trade 0.5% risk and
Mm.
take a 3 to 1 once a week. And that's good money at the end of the month. And
Yeah.
it's just something to keep telling yourself like this is good cap one, you work really hard to get there, of course. Um, and yeah, it's really good money. You don't need to make big gains to get good payouts with a 200K account, whether that's FTMO or Funder Pro. But it happens, sometimes the emotions can kind of get at you and you go on tilt, as traders like to call it, and you could end up kind of being a bit too aggressive and forcing things, and then you're finding yourself in positions that go against your analysis that you set 2, 3 hours earlier.
Yeah.
Part of the
100%.
ongoing process. I don't think there's ever an end result as a trader. It's an ongoing process. Especially that's why I don't believe when traders say mindset or psychology is a scam. Like it's very much not a scam because you're constantly battling against yourself. That's what trading is. It is against your own thought process, and it's kind of like that fight or flight syndrome as well, isn't it? That human nature, we don't like to lose. And if there's any risk on the table, our brain's telling us we're in danger. But we're putting risk on the table every time we open a position, and we have to sit through the risk, especially if we're in drawdown. So psychology is huge. And that's why we have our in-house clinical psychologist. And I had a couple of sessions with her in March, and then April I did $121,000 that month, and it's because I was kind of lifting limited beliefs that I didn't even know I had, and it allowed me to go to new heights. And it was all about risk tolerance more than anything. It's not about the psychology behind wanting to make more money. It's the ability to let go of the fact that you're risking more. It's
Yeah,
very interesting. I think
it's very interesting. Yeah.
we could talk like a whole hour, separate hour, just about trading psychology, I think.
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
So that's really cool. So what would you say has been in the last 6 months your biggest challenge that you've had to face? I don't mean prop firm challenge, but just something that's been an obstacle in the last 6 months trading wise that you've really struggled with.
Um, I would say, I guess, a mixture of psychology and risk management, I would say. Um, because I didn't have really good risk management for a while, and I was aware of it fairly recently, and I think that contributed to my bad psychology.
Mhm.
So I think them two in hand were my biggest problems and struggles. Um, I think also dealing with internal range markets, I'd say, as well. When it's a little bit iffy and you know it's bullish, but it's having a massive pullback and it's not super clear. And
Yeah.
when it's not super clear, it usually means that you shouldn't trade.
Yeah.
But sometimes I would trade in those not so clear environments. And then you realize later on in the week, you just see the market just doing this. It's like, well, I shouldn't have traded from the beginning. So I think them two things are probably the hardest I've had to struggle with.
So it sounds like overcoming bad habits and it is a habit, so it's hard to break. So the only way of breaking a bad habit is by introducing new good habits, right? So probably journaling and stuff like that, more specific to that, to say, okay, at the end of the day, say, did I trade today? Yes or no? Did I tell myself at the start of the trading day, once I'd done my analysis, that I should be trading this market? Yes or no? And then the third question is, did I follow my analysis? So if I wake up in the morning and say, okay, we're mid-range on a 4 hour, this is probably not great. I need to wait for price to develop. That means likely I shouldn't trade today. And if you did trade that day, you journal that I went against my own plan. And that becomes a habit of doing that journaling every single day. What do they used to call it? Like a RSI, ASR, even advanced self-review. That was the
Mm.
thing. And slowly but surely you'll create new habits. And again, it's an ongoing process. The day that you stop journaling and looking back at your own trades and trading behavior is the day that bad habits start to creep back into your trading again. It's an ongoing process. Would you say there's been a turning point in, I know we spoke at the very start that higher time frame, introducing higher time frame and mastering the higher time frame bias has helped a lot. But what would you say has been your biggest turning point in going from break-even trader, which you say you were before starting to work with me closely, to now you're constantly passing challenges, you've multiple 200K funded challenges, you've had payouts, so you are profitable.
I'd say the end of days or like the pre-market prep for sure. The outlooks have been 100% the game changer for me, at least.
Mhm.
Before I never used to do Outlook, and what would happen is you kind of go into your trading day, London's opened, and then you you look at the market and you make a decision based off there and then. But it should be you're making a decision off what you've planned previously, and
Mhm.
that plan is your trading plan. And then the fact that you don't have to think when you actually execute or when you're looking at the market when London opens or New York opens, makes you way more consistent and makes you follow your plan way more. So I think that was a big game changer for me. Yeah, that was definitely the game changer.
So preparation at the start of the session or start of your day, sticking
Yeah.
to it, and then journaling afterwards to check to see what happened. Did price follow your outlook? And it's not about being right all the time because we can't be, but it's about following the plan. And obviously, we're trying to be right most of the time, but understanding that we are going to be wrong sometimes, whether that's higher time frame bias or it could be intraday entry and we get liquidated or we get taken out for entering here versus here. But yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, being prepared and journaling.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And even if you are wrong, at least you have something to look at to analyze. Like if you just trade randomly outside of your plan, well, okay, you traded outside of your plan. Obviously, you need to fix that. But if you are trading within your plan and then it goes wrong, then you can actually look back and see, okay, what can I do to be better? And you're actually improving instead of just being at the same level. So the first level is actually trading your plan, but then afterwards it's like elevating your analysis and being better.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Like your wins and your losses, you're analyzing them at the end of the day and saying, okay, this trade lost or won, regardless of the outcome. Was this following my plan? Like if you lose a trade, like the Nasdaq yesterday, it was absolutely valid, and I would take that time and time again. In fact, the same exact setup occurred every day last week, and they all won. It's just probabilities versus like we were talking about earlier. Okay, if we're mid-range and we find that the higher time frame needs to develop, or maybe the lower time needs to develop in conjunction with the higher time frame, it needs to line up. We're not ready yet, but we force a trade anyway, and that loses. That of course is more behavioral, and that's something not technical. It's not strategy has failed. It's not even probabilities. It's that the fact that we were not disciplined. And there's definitely a difference between the two. And that's probably the biggest metric I would say, recommending those looking to journal at the end of the day and week is more, was that win or loss part of your outlook and your plan, or did you just kind of force it?
100%. And you always internally know whether you've followed your plan or not. So you should know, what you're doing wrong. And even if you're taking positions aggressively, you still have that feeling of like, oh, I probably should have waited for that pullback more before entering. You usually should know. So
You know,
yeah.
as soon as you pulled the trigger, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, last question is then, what advice would you give to your earlier self, maybe 18 months ago, 2 years ago, knowing what you know now about becoming a profitable trader? What would you advise going back in time to speed up that journey, maybe?
I would say I did risk more money than I should have earlier on. If I was to go back, I would say start with a demo account, start with a lot less money on your personal account. But it's also hard to judge, would the learning process speed up quicker because I lost more money? I'm not sure, but I would say definitely start very small because you want to last till you start understanding trading as a whole. And yeah, just go slow with it. Go very, very slow with it and slowly build up. Don't go crazy. I wouldn't say crazy, but I would say risk more than I should have early stages on. And yeah, I think just being a little bit more careful with that.
So, like, rather than focusing on making money right now, because everyone feel I was the same. I think everyone's the same, especially if you're
Yeah.
like 2, 3, 4, even 5 years in, you're still not making money and you've got the pressures of other people as well as yourself. You really want to make this happen. But yeah, it's difficult. That's probably one of the most difficult parts about the early process, right? We want to make money now, so we kind of force it, and we're risking 1% of a 10K live personal account. It's like, well, can you really afford to lose that money right now? And are you ready for that kind of capital? You should be focusing on the learning process first. The money comes later.
100%. Yeah.
Everyone tells us
100%.
that, but do we listen?
Yeah, I know that's the thing. That's what I mean. That's what trading is. It's so hard,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so hard. But I definitely think that the process, you need to just focus on your process. So
Yeah, and trust that if it takes 3, 4, 5 years, that that's actually a small amount of time.
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I started learning trading, it was nearly 11 years ago, and I can remember the first day that I walked into a physical seminar not having a clue. I remember signing the register on the desk, walking in through the door, and I can't believe that was a decade ago. So it does go quick. I mean, I've been through a lot in 10 years, away from trading and in trading, personally and professionally, but it just goes like that. It just the time just flies. So if it takes 3, 4, 5 years, so be it. Like trading is one of the industries that can really change your life. And there's a lot of scams out there. I get that. But if you can really find someone or a group of people that are doing it and you can stick to it and stay in your own lane, then I mean I would not regret any of the journey that I've been on. That's for sure. And I've been self-employed for going on 20 years, but I was still in a rat race. I was still stuck owning a typical business. Whereas now it's completely on you, right?
Yeah, I was similar too with the gaming. Like I know, even though I was playing video games and it was my dream at the time, I was playing 24/7. So I was technically still um, a slave, but I had to play 24/7 to be good.
Yeah.
And but now I have a lot of freedom doing trading. So
Most of it's in the preparation, right? And then the execution is very small. Once you're in, it should be a case of set an alert and walk away. Or in your case, go to sleep.
yeah, exactly. Yep,
If you're trading
pretty
New
much.
York.
Yeah,
It's been great having you on, Jordan. Really appreciate you sharing. There's a lot of value there for anyone watching this. And it's also been great getting to know you better as well.
I appreciate it, Scott. Thank you so much.